Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex. Sorry for the small delay, again, some connectivity problems. As usual, we are going to go over the macro scene, lots of the events in the last couple of days, especially in the crypto space. I will just point out that a couple of things uh, that have occurred. Of course, the two scenarios we proposed is luckily containing one of these possible events, so I will explain a little bit more in detail. If you would like to join our webinar, which will be on Saturday, you can find the link. I will drop it later in the chat, so I can even do it now. So we will hold a little bit more extensive webinar on Saturday. You can go to this page and register for it. I will drop it in the comment box. If you like to, of course, see some of the cryptos, you can also put your comments and other things in the chat box. And of course, if you like to see our work in more deeper sense, you can visit Trading Analysis and make a trial and see what we do. Since we were late a bit, let's immediately dive in. And let's start with overall macro views to see the current environment. I was always stressing out, if you look my videos back even from the beginning of 2021, that we need a kind of a good environment in a sense of monetary policy, economy overall, to have this fifth wave developing in cryptos. I did mention many times a sentiment, I do stand with my analysis. I have only two solutions for this, what is going on, and I'm still standing by that. I see people are calling some disastrous levels in the Bitcoin. I will wait with that because as the bullish sentiment was raging in 2021 in March, when we actually very vocally stressed that there is only one very strong FIB ratio and the Bitcoin might turn lower. But the sentiment is a funny thing because we are emotional beings and we get carried away. I do think that we are doing the same now on the other side. And that is one of the aspects of the markets which are extremely, I find interesting, how people actually plunge in voluntarily into this sentiment without any viable evidence. Of course, it depends which methodology you look. So I will dive that with you in the couple of minutes, especially in the Bitcoin and Ether chart, which we have been presenting for a long time. And one of these scenario we proposed is unfolding and one is invalidated. So as I said, there is no use of giving 10 scenarios, especially when you do the Elliott wave, which gives you lots of possibilities to kind of a switch between the patterns. You should use, of course, your knowledge and some of the guidelines and the macro environment to derive two possible scenarios, maximum three. So I was operating with two, and one of them I think it's going to be the final one. So let's dive in. Let's start with the overall macro environment. Let's look what's going on for the market prediction on the next Fed meeting, which is on 15th of June, 98.4% for a 50 basis points move again. So current target rates is between 75 and 1%. As you know, market is predicting we go almost 98.4% with this latest CPI data, which was a little bit off, just a small percentage, 8.3. Last one was 8.5. So 1.25 to 1.50. Possibility that Fed will hike 75 basis points is very low, 1.6%. So This of course can change, but it's relatively high conviction of the markets that we are going to see a 50 basis points move on the upside. So this still have to be seen. ECB is still doing a QE. Of course, Fed is going to go out of the QE, start QT or quantitative tightening. So let me switch to the 10-year yields, and this is US 10-year yields. No, this is the German one. This is the US one. So this is the longer time frame. As you know, I like to look longer time frames because I think they are valid in a strength, especially when you look the classical technical analysis. So obviously the deflationary trend was lower. Question is if this is a sustained structural change or secular change, or this is just a cyclical inflationary move. I'm still going to go for a cyclical one in this stage, but let's see. Of course, if this starts to develop further, we will see some crazy numbers, and I don't think that will happen. So looking this chart and this RSI, as you can see, every high on this RSI was followed by the move lower. We have posted low during COVID crisis, supply chain problems, war in Europe and between Russia and Ukraine, high energy prices produced a move up in inflation and in rates. So we are trying to back off a little bit from highs. I don't think this is the sustainable move lower. I think we're going to post one more move, and then we will have some type of a complete five-wave development, which will actually announce some pause in the rates in the next couple of months. I don't know how much and how big this correction will be. As you can see, the consolidation and previous resistance levels, which is very well depicted here, might actually give us a clue that consolidation will be contained between this range. I don't know how big this correction will be. It might even pose a small triangle and then continue on the upside. We will see, but actually for this round, I do think that looking this technical picture, we might see in the next couple of weeks rates starts to back off a little bit and make some type of a pullback after reaching 3.5 or 3.6 or this upper level, which is actually depicted with this previous correction. We have a five-wave move. We have also the RSI very high readings compared to historical ones. So if we see from that perspective, we can also technically see that we are basically on a very higher reading historically in the last 40 years. So that will call for some type of at least a pullback within this range. So same thing I think is going to happen in Europe. Still not a five-wave move. You can count this as some type of a 1-2, and then you can expand this on the upside, but we need to wait and see a complete five-wave move on the upside to have additional conclusion that the rates in Europe are going to continue higher for some foreseeable future. I don't know if Europe is in that situation currently because all of the events that is going on there. If we look longer time frames, of course the same picture. This is a yield chart. We are moving lower, kind of contained in this channel, except here. And I always stress, I look this channel as a secondary information. So RSI is also pretty high at 73. And we will see what will happen there. ECB announced, of course, a move up in rates. I'm waiting their next meeting to see where this move is going to actually occur. And we might see a little bit of a consolidation here. And if we actually stage a five-wave move, this will imply that potentially this will be a wave A, pullback in B, and up in C, we might see in the next year or two a higher rate. And then we can see what's going on. But I don't like to go too much in time. So let's keep it one wave at a time and look what's going on here. Dollar index still moving higher, 104.43. We talked about that last week. I was looking dollar, as you know, to go lower. My final 786 retracement didn't hold. We were pretty much correct on this move on the upside up to these reversal levels, and I was waiting the response. The response was on the upside, and I have to change my wave count. I was wrong on that one in a sense of expecting more of a structural change in dollar, at least for one push to the downside down to this 80 level. It didn't occur. It started to move on the upside, so we changed our wave count to a more bullish one, which is actually is working just fine for now. So a little bit of a correction and then a continuation. So let's see where this cycle will complete, and we can see a 5-wave move development, having this here as a 4th wave correction going into a final 5th wave. So either we're gonna make some pullback or some triangulation. We will see when this 5-wave cycle is done. Higher dollar, of course, is not good for several reasons, and I think you all know them. Most of the exposure in the emerging markets is functioning via funding through the euro-dollar shadow market. So many companies will have a trouble with higher dollar, and there is a couple of other consequences of the higher dollar. So I don't think this will be, of course, Fed is still not reacting like it was in COVID. This is the purely interest differential play for now. And when these other countries, of course, except Japan, which is doing a yield curve control, will start to raise rates, we might see a dollar weakness a little bit more on the downside after the cycle is finished. RSI is also around 82 on this weekly, which is relatively in the line with the previous moves lower, as you can see on the chart. So if we move to a commodity spectrum, Thomson Reuters index, 5 waves up. We still don't have a 5-wave move down to actually anchor this wave 5, but I think we are close. So I think this is a 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5. Very nice intermediary subdivision here in a wave 3. So maybe a little bit hesitation, maybe even a break on the upside, but I think soon, looking some other charts, we will see some pause, which kind of aligns with the rates. If you overlay with this index, the US 10-year, you will see that there is a nice correlation, especially from this levels around, as you can see from COVID lows. Okay, so they have been going pretty much in tandem. So I think they're going to have a little bit of pause, as you can see, after posting one marginal and new high. We'll go in some type of a corrective movement, and this also commodity spectrum agrees with that. So oil is still consolidating. I said last time, as you know, as long as this consolidation lasts without breaking this pretty previous corrective consolidation between 95 and 130 or even 27, we can break on both sides. There is also reasoning when the stocks are moving lower that the economy is, of course, we're going to see a demand destruction, and the oil should go lower. But with the geopolitical situation, this can also change, and actually we can see a further oil market tightening due to some sanctions or some other reason, and that can also break on the upside. So we basically don't know for sure. I'm still going to stay bullish in this environment, even if we have a little bit of a correction here, until we break some key levels. For me, looking the whole of this chart, which goes, I don't know, 100 to 100 years back, if you look on this monthly level, I still don't see a 5th wave completion. So I think in some form or the other, this will eventually post a new high here. As you can see, this is a 1, 2, up in 3, correction in 4, and up in 5. So we have been correcting nicely towards this 4th wave support levels, previous intermediary degree, and then we started to move on the upside. I think this will continue to post new highs, but we need to go and break this channel on the upside further, or retrace a little bit and then go further higher. So as long as we are in the range and we continue to trade in the range, the danger exists. This is just a pause and consolidation before the further continuation on the upside in this moment. Okay. If we look the net gas, we looked these charts a couple of times in the last crypto lives, still consolidating. I do see potentially one more push to this 1618 levels, which is a usual level for the wave 3, but the net gas is just going to correct in some type of wave 4 and then continue on the upside. It kind of agrees with a little bit with CRB or with the rates. A small couple of months ease in inflationary numbers, and then we post a next high, potentially 2022-23. If we look also copper, which is an interesting chart because the copper is following risk on, risk off. I do see here a chart which depicts a potential dollar lows. Maybe this will develop in a flat, not in impulsive manner. So I will look maybe even for a little bit of a deeper correction in copper, down maybe to these levels in some type of a 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down. And then we're going to continue, I think, higher. Aussie dollar is also nicely correcting, which has a correlation with copper, and copper is also very used metal in the new digital age, or electric vehicles and many other things. So definitely in the next 10, 20, 30 years, it will be a bigger demand for copper. And I think it's going to continue higher from the fundamental and technical picture. So let's switch to cryptos. So let's start with the total crypto market cap. I mean, I will just conclude currently, as we see this situation, the environment, as you can see, is still a risk off, which means that liquidity is moving out of the market. Stock market is trying to price in, because the stock markets are forward-looking mechanism. So what you see now is actually market is trying to see or guess what is going to be in 6 months or a year currently. So you have to take that into account. So lots of these things are fastly being priced in. So I will not be surprised if we see some type of a low in the next couple of weeks. In stocks, if the thing stays the same on these macro factors. So let's switch to cryptos. Let's look total crypto market cap. And as you can see, we penetrated this 23.6% in a potential. So we are on a Bitcoin, and here also invalidated the triangle wave count. So we have to go for a secondary option. As you can see, the RSI on this weekly is coming very low. So I think in a couple of weeks, we might see some type of a bottom forming. We still have a take that this is just a correction and that we are going to have one more move on the upside. We do consider this as a wave 3 here. We do consider this as a ABC on the downside. You can make a couple of corrections in that sense in regards or looking the wave structure. So this can be ABC on the downside, or a flat for A, or a W, up in X and down in Y, which will be some type of a complex zigzag. This is a combination of corrections, and that kind of perfectly matches a little bit lower level. So this will be a first pass over correction. X wave will be a connector, and this is just a secondary part of a correction. I have posted a chart on my Twitter feed, and I posed the question, should I short this chart? This is just the technicals with this channel, RSI, and history in the last almost 8 years. And as you can see, we can even break a little bit, but this was a very firm and and very consistent analysis of the reversals in the past. Of course, nothing is 100%, but I will not be selling this chart. I was just a little bit joking on a bearish sentiment, and answers was very interesting from a couple of guys that are following me. So in that respect, I do think that this is just still a corrective pullback with a little bit of a downside, and then we're going to start slowly to form a base and forming a 5 waves up and a pullback, which will mark a recovery. And then when the condition changes, we will see an acceleration on the upside. I will just add that we are going to probably see this coming from institution and not from the retail side. So main subject, of course, Terra Luna. Tether lost its $1 pack. I don't know if it came back. I didn't look in the last 1 hour. It dropped kind of up to, I think, 90 or 95 levels, 90, I think. And you know, of course, what happened with Luna. I have even published a chart, which I didn't believe myself that something like this will happen of Luna a couple of months ago. And I will not repeat language on the YouTube, but you can read that language was appropriate. And of course, from these levels we have seen, of course, I will never expect such an event. This was just very visible that you have a 5-wave move. And I have been scored or getting a little bit kind of a more on a joke side from a couple of members, because I try to reconcile this chart with the triangle in Bitcoin and Luna moving further a little bit more higher. And I made a couple of compromises, and the lesson is when you see a 5-wave move, it's a 5-wave move. If you don't see how it's going to fall, don't try to compromise. So that's the lesson for me. Of course, I didn't do anything looking at this chart, although it's very visible. So you need from time to time to reinforce the faith in your wave counts. And of course, even if I was in this trade, I was not most likely looking for this type of a move lower. Probably I will get out much earlier than looking this event. Is this a finished story with Luna? I don't know. We will wait. We are trading around 0.10, I think currently. Maybe we recovered a little bit. So let's see how this will unfold. So let's switch to Bitcoin. So triangle wave count invalidated. I have said many times, of course, that if we break 28,800, the triangle will be invalidated, and that we are going to switch for a secondary scenario, which was looking for 20 to 22K. So current situation, I think it's relatively very visible. These support levels has a plethora of things which are actually potentially saying that we are going to see lows, maybe even earlier. I'm never sure. I'm waiting and observing. But my wave count will be that this is either ABC on the downside in a flat, which means that this will go in some type of an ending diagonal towards this level, or this will go in a complex WXY. And this will be a combination of two different separate corrections connected by the X wave. And this will be a 5-wave move down to this 38%, which is a 20K. Equality between A and B comes around 23K. 200 moving average weekly comes around 21K. 38%, and the base channel also kind of aligns between 20 and 21K. Time ratio is also closer to this June-July event. So many things here, and also the RSI. So you have so many strong indications that actually at least we're going to see some larger bounce, but I will not move an inch from this wave count until I see a drop below 15K. Okay, so for me, I will allow a small dip like we had here, not this big, but like a small dip. If 20K is broken, 19K will be my levels. But anyhow, this zone is still for me very attractive, and especially when you see the altcoins moving to such a low prices. Let me just make some lights because I don't think you see me brightly. So yeah, I'm still looking this as a fourth wave, guys. I'm not panicking because, as you know, we already have this scenario a long time ago, and I'm not going to submit, as I said, to bearish sentiment. Actually, I will use the bearish sentiments to choose most likely the entry. On the long side, combined with all of this, what I'm showing you here, okay? So I'm far away from panic for the Bitcoin price currently, okay? This fourth wave on the downside, do one thing, actually it changes the higher target, because when you kind of starts to move this fourth wave back and forth, you're gonna get a different readings on the upside for a potential targets, okay? So if we get to 20K targets, we'll go a little bit potentially lower. I will not exclude the break, but my focus will be then between 85 to 120K, okay? If this wave 4 finished a little bit higher, that will actually change, of course, the numbers that we use for a fib ratio. So clustering, I'm seeing around this level. So final message, I'm far away from giving up. The only thing that will be make me change this is a break of 15K to the downside. Wave counting validation of this proposed hypothesis for now is at 13,826, but usually when you see some price, even very rarely things recover when they come to a close to a wave counting validation, okay? That means that your observation was not correct in many cases, okay? Okay, so yeah, so that will be my main message. I'm not introducing to you anything new. If you look previous crypto labs for the last year, our primary was a triangle until it broke. It broke. Our secondary was this scenario, and we pretty much followed these two scenarios for every crypto lab, almost many months back. So if you make a statement that triangle failed, yes, but I would like more going step by step. Then immediately, when you have a couple of possibilities in the fourth wave to develop, go directly and claiming that I know what is the correct wave count. I would rather show let market to show me and be patient as we were with our members, so we are not suffering any damages from this. So people are, I think, very much ready to start buying some things very cheaply for the future development. So Ether is basically the same chart. We a little bit of a different structure. We were looking for also two scenarios in Ether, pretty much same as in Bitcoin. So I don't see still any viable reason for panic. We are still within this fourth wave correction. We might go just a touch lower, or we might stay also within the boundaries of this potential ABC on the downside, down to, let's say, 1,700. I will expect this 1,000 levels only if the Bitcoin goes to like 17, 18K. We might see this penetration of this support. Otherwise, I will look just for a small breakout. If we measure A, B, and C, let's see where is the equality for these two, and then we can kind of cluster these Fibonacci things and make, as you can see, this 1618 comes around below 1,000. That will be really extreme. So the equality comes around 1,600. Okay, so that will be my focus. Potentially in Ether, we might not even go down to this 200 moving average. I do still consider this to be a pause, and I will pair this correction with this correction here. Time-wise, we are pretty much on time in Ether. So 1618 or a golden ratio comes around July 3rd as a date. Okay, that is not 100% correct. Okay, it can go back and forth, but this will be my focus for Ether. As you know, many of these alts fell dramatically lower, and they have become, in my opinion, very cheap. Let me quickly finish gold. I always forgot gold and silver. So gold, sorry to jump off, I just remembered, so I don't know why do I skip. Gold is testing the last resort levels. We came down as we were looking down to this 786 retracement. We need to hold and we need to develop five-way move. So if we don't, my thesis that gold is going to continue lower will actually unfold. We will invalidate this immediate bullish wave count post these levels here, and especially below this 1750, and then definitely I will be more welcome to look for a further move lower. Silver is the same. We were very vocal that silver is not going to go higher because we didn't see actually a five-way move. On silver on the upside, we have seen only three-way, a little bit of hesitation and a collapse. We are testing 420 50 days support here. Moving average on weekly 200 comes around a little bit below 20. So this will be my zone, a little bit more of a downside and then potential reversal. So let's see what will happen in the next week. Aussie dollar, which is one of the commodity plays, I think it's coming to a potential target. So after a long treacherous fall down in deflationary environment, we do see from these COVID lows 5 waves up and a pullback. I do see this as an ABC. So also Aussie is from a couple of these levels announcing a potential reversal and more commodity play on the upside, like copper, gold, or commodities in general that are moving out from Australia. So this is purely a risk-off play. So you can also watch Aussie dollar through the commodity spectrum, or also risk-on, risk-off, because it's a kind of a overall economy barometer through these commodities that is kind of correlated with. Okay, but I see this as an ABC pullback. We still have room to go to the downside, but chart overall looks bullish, which from here you can derive potentially some other events that might occur. So let's go back to cryptos. I will show you just a couple of charts. The rest I will keep for Saturday, of course, to give you a little bit of kind of a sweet candy, so you can join us on Saturday. I was pretty much over all of the time bearish on Polkadot. So we are reaching some very interesting levels. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. From 5 to 6, Polkadot is very cheap to buy because it is an interoperability play which will be necessary for the future crypto space. So 5 waves up, pullback, definitely for me will be a time to engage after this, after I see some type of a sign that we are starting the higher recovery. And many of these charts did the same. Sushi swap also went pretty sizably lower. On the downside, we are trading around, so this is the last resort levels, around 1 and 0.8. So this needs to start moving higher to justify this wave count as a 1 down in 2, and then or A down in B up in C. So as you can see, many of these alts was crashed. So imagine in the next time, potentially, if we are seeing a bullish Bitcoin price from 20K, what the alts will do on the upside. So just don't forget that. Luna is moving lower. Of course, we are trading now at 1.7. We were traded, I think, close to 0.10 or 0.13. So let's see how this will go. And Dogecoin didn't fulfill the necessary reversal pattern. We are trading down to this 38% retracement. one of our potential targets. I will not maybe ascribe this as a wave 4. We passed the time. I will maybe find some other solutions, but I think also we might be in some interesting A up in B in some type of a triangle, or W, X, Y situation here. Okay. So what we can see more, one is moving lower, so 5 waves up. I will look this as a corrective pullback in a wave 2. As you can see, 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5. So maybe even some type of a 5th wave failure here. If we look this wave structure, and then A, B, C, we might be very close to some type of forming base here or here. I will of course wait the reversal and a pullback to see this one as an interesting play. LiteCoin is going below our initial target. I will have to modify my wave count. We are trading below 74, which was my initial target even in this area. And we are actually pierced through it. So I think I cannot label this as a 4th wave anymore because of even before, because of the magnitude. We have to find some other solution for this one, but the correction is still ongoing on this one as well. Link is still, I think, in a 4th wave. We reached a little bit deeper level, but I will not exclude a 4th wave here. Wave 2 was pretty big, and I will go for a wave 4 here as long as we trade above these levels, which are not so far away. But I don't know if this is a wave 1. I think wave 1 is earlier. This chart is not good. Let me just show you the whole chart of Link, because Binance sometimes doesn't have a proper feed. So I think this is the correct chart from Link, and wave count is invalidation is way lower on the Link. Yeah, it's here. So still, this is very viable 4th wave. Either looking this wave as a more directional, and this as a more complex 4th wave is definitely, I think, still ongoing affair on this Link. On this Link, possible pullback like A up in B, some ending diagonal in C, or some other form. The context here is much more important than the wave count, so don't pay much attention. I didn't go into depth of this. We pierced the 200 moving average, which is a little bit worrisome. So what I want to see, it's a back in 5 waves and a pullback for a Link to be an interesting thing for me going further on the upside. So from that perspective, that's it, guys. So I will look a little bit of your comments. Yeah, Luna chart, it's still not technically dead. You cannot say it's dead yet. We have 5 waves up. The question is, are we going to see some sustainable recovery? I don't know what it, this is the market cap, so let me just go and this is not the proper chart, so again, not the whole data there. I will have to use another one. Let me just switch to this one, which I think has whole data on Luna. Internet is a little bit slower, at least here. I don't know why. Let me try to bring this alive. Okay, so whoa, what is this? At 0.03, and this chart also is not. I mean, if this is true, I didn't look at it really for the past couple of hours, and this is obviously a wave count invalidation. So I don't know if it is done, guys, but I mean, I've seen a 5 waves up and this collapse completely is surprise. I don't know. I really don't know. So I will need some data on the reversal to potentially structure some long play. But for now, as you can see, I don't know even if this is correct reading. So I'll have to check it up. This is a good suggestion. Alex, why don't you make charts bigger and your face smaller? I don't like that much my face, to be honest. So I will gladly do that, but just because of dynamics of charts and me, I'm sometimes switching, kind of giving you a little bit of kind of dynamics change. That's all. I don't. My intention is not that you look my face. Um, I saw Sol in your motive. Yeah, Solana, I think it's in a corrective. I don't see any structural change on Solana. If you look the overall wave count for now, so Solana is still in my book like a 5-wave move, 3-wave pullback. Let me just find this. I think I have it on a trading view. Um, Yeah, I see this as an ABC. So support for me in Solana is these levels around 25. Okay, so this will be something which I will be looking for in Solana uh, for a potential down in A, up in B, and down in C. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be um, an interesting levels for me. Okay, in Solana. Dash. Hi, Dalibor. I didn't look Dash for ages. Let's see the chart. I mean literally ages. I don't know. I mean maybe a couple of years back. Uh, you can see how much time I didn't look the Dash, like from 2020, I think. Yeah, this is a relatively visible chart. After 5 waves up, so this is a three wave move. This is not a 5-wave move, so it doesn't look good from this perspective. Potentially a new low, which is not very difficult to see, as you can see it for yourself. Let me see on another feed. I don't know if this chart is proper. Dash, do I have a dash here or not? Yeah, I have it. Let me see. Maybe this is the right feed. And if this is the case, we can basically look this as a longer wave 4. Maybe something like this will hold. Of course, this is the crypto compare feed. I don't know if this is correct. I don't have particular interest in Dash, so I'm not looking at it that much. Although this wave 4 is too, I mean, let me see some time ratios. Yeah, we are way past 2618, so I would rather look this as a separate event. So yeah, so potentially you would look for 2730, just a simple ABC pullback. So this will be some type of wave A, some type of a 3 waves up in B, and we move down further in C. Equality comes around 2520. Okay, exactly on this line. RSI kind of agrees. So you can look for that type of thing. Okay, guys. So please join me if you like on Saturday. We'll go through extensive list of cryptos as well, with the overall bigger deep dive in Bitcoin and Ether. I wish you the nice rest of the day. Click the like button and subscribe, the most, as you know, hated sentence I have to say in this stream. Stay well, and don't fall under this bearish sentiment yet. Looking all of these charts, we still don't have a particular reason to be so worried. Of course, if you are in some positions losing money, that's a different thing. But I'm saying I was very patient with my members, and I think majority of them are pretty much alive and have a pretty untouched cash to invest in these very cheap now prices. So I think this patience was paid off. But this needs, of course, to be confirmed and realized on the analysis that we will continue after some time on the upside. So you can kind of maybe for a second look this thing from the same lenses as we are proposing. So thank you guys. See you on Saturday if you come, and if not, see you in trading analysis. If not, we are seeing you on the next Crypto Lab next week, where we are going to dive in and assess the situation for you for our next couple of weeks or a week perspective. So see you guys. Bye bye.